Worrying can be so exhausting and shows up when we least want it. Poof, 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 worry, worry, worry. It may show up middle of the night, in the morning, or maybe while you're doing something, you're enjoying something, boom, worry shows up. It can really interfere and rob us of so many moments in the day. Well, how do we stop these worries? In this video, I want to share with you a very practical approach called postponing your worry or a worry period. Let's go over the specifics and make best use of this effective strategy for managing worries. This is Kasim Al-Mashat, Registered Psychologist and mindfulness teacher. Worrying is really prevalent. It happens to all of us on different ranges. Little worrying, big worrying, all the time worrying, some worrying. There's going to be worrying somehow. So how do we deal with it? Well, this strategy involves a specific form of journaling. I've covered journaling in other videos, but this one is very specific to worrying. So you can get yourself a different journal, a separate journal just for worrying. Now, if some of you prefer to type, obviously you can save it in a document or password protected if you want that way. So how do you do the writing? Well, the first thing is creating a period in the day, and you can experiment for just a week to see how that feels. To begin with, you can create a specific time in the day. It's preferable it's the same time, so it could be maybe just before dinner, or maybe on your lunch break, maybe first thing in the morning, or whatever works best for you. But a short period, so 5-10 minutes, some people like more, 15, so it's up to you. But it doesn't have to be too lengthy. You can start with 5 minutes. And it's important to be very disciplined about that time. So you put a timer, and when the time starts at that specific time in the day that you've chosen for that week, then you just write about the worry. Now, what if you get to that period and the worry is no longer a problem? Well, you don't need to write. It's done. But if you sit and you go, oh yeah, that thing has been going on all day yesterday and it keeps waking me up. Okay, let's write about it. Let's write about it. Now, after you've finished the writing, so the timer went off, 5 minutes to begin with, to start, then doing something calming. And maybe it's a breathing exercise. And you can look at some of the videos below. I have about breathing exercises. Or anything else that's nurturing or soothing for you. It could be a mindfulness practice. It could be a walk, listening to music. So there's something between worrying and then what you're doing next. It's really important to help the mind because we are interfering with this worry cycle on many ways. One of them is when the worry is happening in the day, we're interfering with it taking over. So we're saying, not now, mind, later. Now we're interfering, we're intervening, we're interjecting with that cycle. And then when we end the worry period, we're also training the mind that we can worry about something, and then now it's finished, calming the nervous system. So this is really important to not forget that part. Okay, now you finished worrying and you did something nurturing and soothing. Now what happens if 3 hours later your mind worries again? What happens? That's very natural. The last thing we want to do is get upset at the mind or try to block it. So we're not going, oh, stop it. And guess what happens? It's going to get stronger. So instead of that, you can experiment with talking back to the mind in a very gentle, friendly way, reminding the brain tomorrow is the next appointment, your worry period. So you can literally just tell your mind, I hear you, mind, you're worried about this, but we'll go into it tomorrow at 10 or 12 or 6, whatever time you've created. And what happens if the mind tells you that again an hour later? It brings back the same worry. Well, you guessed it. You can just, in a friendly way, say it again. Thank you, mind. We have an appointment tomorrow at that time. So whenever the mind worries about that subject throughout the day, remind yourself that you have a worry period and you can write about it in that worry period. Now, sometimes people worry that they will not remember the worry for their worry period. So what you can do in that case is just jot down like a little bullet point of what that worry is. So if there's a worry that shows up middle of the day that really bothers you, you can just note it down, just one word to remember what it is, so you can write about it in your worry period. So you can postpone it till your worry period. Now, what else to write about in your worry period? It's really helpful to ask yourself, is this worry something I can control? If it is a yes, then you can make a plan of how to manage it. So is there some action you need to do? Is there someone you need to talk to about this worry? There could be a plan which you can actually control what you're worrying about. So maybe it's applying for a job and you're worried, well, what if I don't get it? Well, then you can have a plan of, for example, other jobs to apply for, how you can adjust your resume, or whatever it is, some plan. And if there is nothing you can control about this worry, well, just remind yourself there's nothing to control about this worry. It helps the mind seeing that, well, I can let go of that worry because there's nothing I can do about it. So this is one of the things you can do in the worry period, is you're writing about the worry, and even it feels repetitive. If you're doing this for a week and you're like, well, I'm saying the same worry, it's getting boring. Wow, the worry's losing effectiveness. The worry, it's losing its grip. So it will get boring and then you forget about the worry. So this is the benefit of doing this type of writing. I hope you found this useful. If so, feel free to like, share, and if you haven't done so already, subscribe. And you're welcome to put comments in the comments section. I'd be curious to see how this goes for you, trying it for a week. And you're welcome to look at links to other videos and upcoming events. And thank you for watching. May your moments be filled with ease, and may you be present with as many of them.